Bad lighting can make a really good camera look horrible, but good lighting can make a cheap camera look fantastic. Lighting is arguably more important than the camera you use to get great looking videos. Audio quality is important too, but that's not what this video is about. In this video, I want to talk about lighting, how I have it set up in my office, and how you can set yours up to get the best videos possible. Hi, my name is Rob, and if you're new here, welcome. It's nice to meet you. And if you're returning, then welcome back. So I'm in my office now. This is a 14-foot long by 9-foot wide bedroom that I've converted into an office. And in the far end, I've got my desk set up with, that's where I do my video editing and my live streams. Okay, so because I do live streams there, I need lights set up and I need a camera set up. It's a set where I make videos. I also make tutorial videos over there. And then the other location is here, where I am, back here in this corner. I've got this leather chair, kind of a comfy, cozy corner that I've set up. I've got a light on behind me. I've got a chart on the wall. Everything in this shot was done intentionally. Okay, so the fact that you can see the light behind me, because I'm not in the way of the light like that, right? I purposely angled myself so that you can see that light, so that you can see that picture, so you can see this chart, this little wooden seagull, and I think you see a little bit of peanut here. So anyways, I've set this up the way it is, and I also had to light it in order to make everything look good. Okay, it had to be lit properly. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So show you both sets, but also I'm going to show you at the end of the video, I want to show you my light control panel, which allows me to turn any light on or off in my office from my desk. So first things first, whenever you're lighting yourself indoors, okay, you don't have access to daylight, okay, so like in my case here, I've got curtains drawn, so I don't have any light from outside coming into this office. Okay, so whenever you have to light up a room artificially like that, you never want to use overhead lights. Okay, when this video started, I had the kind of orangey color light that's in the center of the ceiling above me. I had that on, and I didn't have these lights on. Okay, so you could see what that looked like. It looked horrible. I mean, sometimes it's hard to tell until you compare it to what it could look like. Okay, so I'll show you again what that looked like compared to what you're seeing now. Okay, so don't use those overhead lights for a couple reasons. The main one is any light that's top down like that, you're going to wind up with shadows on your face. Like your eyebrows are going to shadow your eyes, so you're not going to be able to see your face, your facial features. There's just going to be a lot of shadows in the way. It's just not a complimentary look, if that makes sense. So what you want to do instead is you want to have the lights basically back by the camera, but there's a couple of rules of thumb here. You ever see those ring lights? Okay, the idea of the ring light was to set it up that you're looking right at that ring light and you put the camera in the middle. Okay, I don't like that because what happens is, especially if you've got glasses, what happens is you'll see those rings, you'll see the lights in the glasses. All right, so the way to avoid that is to raise the lights up, okay, and also move them off to the side. So if you only have one light, that's fine. You can just raise it up and move it off to the side. That's what this light is here. That's called my key light, okay, or my primary light, my main light. And really, that's all you need. If you're going to be making videos, you really only need one main light, a key light like that. Now, there's more that you can have, but you may not need it, okay? One light will do wonders for your video. One light just raised about 45 degrees up from, the plane you're looking at your camera, 45 degrees up, and then 45 degrees off to the side, all right? That'll ensure no reflections go in your glasses, and also it's just a very flattering look, okay? You'll have subtle shadows here. Actually, let me show you. Right now, I have two lights on. The key light, and this one over here is called a fill light. Okay, that's why my face is fairly well lit up. Let me turn that one off. So this is what it looks like with only the key light. Okay, a little bit more of a dramatic look, and you may or may not want this look. I personally don't. I usually light myself up more than this, but I think I have done videos like this when I first started. Just one light off to the side like this, and so you have more shadow on this side, which is fine. A little more shadow here, but the top of my head is all lit up. Okay, so yeah, so that's the key light. The fill light is now off. Let me go turn that back on again. Okay, personally, I like this look better. And it's just trial and error, right? If you're able to, try different things and see what look you like the best, then that's what you should do. Now, there's two more types of lights I want to talk about. One is called a rim light or a hair light, and that is typically placed above, out of the shot, so you can't see it, but kind of behind and above me. I don't have one on here in this shot. In my other set I do, and I'll show it to you, but it doesn't do a whole lot more. It may give a little more definition, separation, I guess, between me and the background. But it's a minor thing. And again, I am not an expert at lighting. This is all kind of self-taught stuff. I've watched a lot of videos. I've played around with things, and I know what I like the look of. And I've just found that a hair light or a rim light, for me, didn't seem to make much difference. Maybe it's because I don't have any hair. I don't know. Yeah, so for me, it didn't seem to make much difference. The other light that I wanted to show you, though, is that one back there. And I did mention it already, but that is called a practical, okay, like a practical light. And the only thing it's doing is it's just for looks, just for ambience, right? It's just, I like the look of a light back there, so I put it there. No other reason than that. And you may or may not want to do that. Often you'll see like maybe a lamp in the background or off to the side. It just helps kind of set the scene for where you want to make your videos. All right. One more thing I want to show you. Lately, I've been making a lot more videos with my Lions hat on. I usually wear a hat when I go outside, not often inside, but I have been making videos like this with the hat on here. And what you'll notice is there's a lot more shadows here. Okay, and that's because this cap is shadowing the light from my face. So think about that when you're going to wear a hat. You may want to, like, if I didn't want as much shadow here, I may want to lower this light a little bit and have something shining more directly at me. Again, not directly from the camera like a ring light would be, but off to the side so that you don't see it in my glasses. Okay, but we'll leave that off for the rest of this video. So the actual lights that I use for my key light, it's rather large. It's an Aperture Cobb light. It's actually the Aperture Amaran 60D. D for daylight. You can get these lights that are like bicolor. They can go the daylight, the cool white light, or it'll go the warm, or tungsten, I believe it's called, tungsten light, the warm yellowish kind. So I just got the daylight. And just to talk a little bit more about that, I typically recommend that you go with daylight lights, especially if you're going to be combining indoor videos with outside videos, okay? Because outside it is daylight, but there may be times where you're filming indoors and you want that more warm look, like maybe by a fireplace, candle lit, that kind of thing with the more yellow lights. Then you may want to use the warm lights. But what I've got here, it's the Amaran 60D. It's a fairly large light, and quite honestly, if I were to do this again, I probably wouldn't buy that. I would probably just use another one of these 18-inch panel lights from Neewer. I think they're fantastic. So I have 3 of those. So that, again, that's what that is. This what I'm using as a fill light over here. It's the Neewer 18-inch LED panel light, also daylight. Actually, it might go. Is it bicolor? Yeah, that light that light is a bicolor light as well. So it will do the warm light if I wanted it to, but I always have that set at daylight. And I've got that set at 30%. so it can go much brighter. And this one is set to 25%, so it can also go quite a bit brighter. So yeah, the advantage of the bigger light, so that Amaran 60D, I've got a large softbox on it with the grid, the honeycomb grid. What that does is it kind of diffuses the light a little bit, and it makes for a softer light. So, you know, do I think it's necessary? No, not necessarily. I think one of those panel lights would probably do just fine. The light would be a little bit harsher, but not by very much. So now let's go over to my desk. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go grab this camera here. This is my iPhone. And let's come over here to my desk. And let me turn the lights on. There you go. And I've got this camera set up as well. So what we've got going on here is I have 2 more of those panel lights from Neewer, and I've got them attached to my desk. I've got my camera set up right here on my desk. It's on a little mount that's attached to my desk. And I use this camera when I'm going to do live streams, okay, or when I'm making a tutorial type video where I'm demonstrating something on my computer. Okay, so because of that, because I want to use this camera, now also the picture may look a little bit different to you if you're used to seeing my live streams, because the lens that I'm using right now is not my good lens. My good lens is over on that camera that I was just using a second ago in that chair. All right, so this lens here is just the kit lens that comes with the A6400 from Sony. That's the camera. Yeah, so the background doesn't look as blurry. That's really the only difference. But it also is a zoom lens too. I can zoom it in and out. But anyways, also at this point, you're hearing me from this mic, okay? Because my mic is still set up over there, but I've come over here, so now we're using this wireless mic. Yeah, so 2 panels on my desk, the 18-inch panels, roughly 45 degrees. Now this one's a little bit different because I have a rather large monitor here. It's a 32-inch 4K monitor. And because of that, I needed my camera off to the side of that, like just beside the monitor. But because of that, it's much closer to this light than it is to this light, okay? Not a big deal. Again, I'm not looking for perfect here. So in this case, this light is probably only about 10 degrees from the camera, and but it is a little bit above. But you can see, if I looked at it here, you can see the reflection of my glasses, right? So sometimes that'll sneak in if I'm moving my head around when I'm talking, but not a big deal. And then this one is my the one I use as my fill light in this case. This is the closest one to me, the key light. And I can, if I turn off the fill light, let's just turn that off now, you can see the difference, right? Again, a little more of a dramatic look, more shadow on this side, and I'm only being lit by this one light now, okay? One other light I wanted to show you. So again, for this shot, you can see the practical light behind me, right there, just above or behind Peanut there. Yeah, and I've set this up intentionally. I put that camera where I wanted it so that you can see that light over my shoulder, and you can see Peanut also over my shoulder since she's often on the back of that chair. But one more light that I typically use, actually no, 2 more lights here for this set. One is another practical light that I usually turn on, and that is this light here. Let me just turn that on, right there. So that is, what is that called? That's an Aperture MC, is what that light's called. It's just a small wireless light. It's a multicolor light, RGB. I could make it be any color I want and control it from my phone, but I typically just leave it on white. And what it does is it kind of lights up the the curtains behind me there, and it does give some separation between me and the curtains, right? Just because there's a light there, you can kind of see the outline of me a little bit better. So I usually have that on. And then the other one, the last one, is an overhead light. Remember I mentioned the hair light or the rim light? Well, what I do is I don't usually put it on for that because I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn it on now. You let me know if you can see the difference. Not much. I mean, it lit my face up a little bit more, but the primary reason I have that is when I'm working on my desk. That's a top-down light, and it lights up my desk so I can write, right? I can see what I'm writing. That's usually what I use that one for. But yeah, so that is this setup here. So let me turn this light back on now. And the last thing I want to show you is my light control panel. So over here, let me just get my iPhone here. So what I've done is I've routed all of these lights back to this panel. This is a PC100A panel that I got from Amazon, and it allows you to plug into eight things, 8 different things. They plug into the back, and you just use these switches to turn them on and off. So I know, I haven't labeled them, but I know what's what. I know this number 1 is the big key light for the back there. Number 2 and 3 are these 2 panel lights here on my desk here. I'll turn those back on. Number 4 and 5 are 2 overhead lights that I have set up. And number 6 is the charger for that light, the MC100 light. And then I got number 7 set up to my video switcher. Okay, so for when I'm doing my live streams. And number 8, I don't have anything hooked up to that yet. And then all I've done just below that is I just have a power bank if I want to plug things in, charge my phone or whatever. So this comes in super handy because from my desk here, I'm able to just, I'm working away like this, and I can just, I want to turn this one off or this one. I have total control while I'm at my desk. So that's why I have that set up like that. It comes in super handy. So that is how I have my office set up. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, all you really need is one key light, okay? And these newer 18-inch panel lights I think are fantastic for that. They're nice and portable. I have 3 of them. 2 of them I have permanently on my desk, one on either end, and then this one is just kind of portable. And if I ever need 2 portable, like I made a video upstairs a couple months ago and I needed 2 lights, I wanted one on either side of me. I have an extra stand right here that I can pop one of those lights on this stand and go upstairs. So yeah, there's a kit available that you can get 2 of those lights, and I picked that up over the summer, I believe. One more thing I want to mention about lighting is lighting outside. Okay, so when you're outside, you obviously don't need these lights because you're outside, you're in the daylight. Okay, but what you want to be aware of is where the sun is. Okay, the sun is your light. So if you can position yourself so that the sun is, like, think about when you're indoors and you want a light, 45 degrees there pointing at your face. If you could have the sun like that, you will look much better in your videos. Okay, so try not to record as much at noon in the very middle of the day because the sun is going to be super high and that's a top-down light, right? You want the light a little bit lower. So morning or evening is typically the better time. And if you can have the sun pretty much, if you're not looking right at it, but if it's off to the side, kind of pointed at you, you'll look much better. And so, I mean, I'm often outside walking around, making videos, walking on the trail, and I usually try to make sure that I'm walking towards the sun when I'm filming. Okay, it's not always the case. Sometimes I turn around and I'll walk in both directions, back and forth, and you can really tell the difference. Whether the sun is in front of me or behind me. If it's behind me, then I'm more in a shadow than if it's in front of me. So just something else to keep in mind. Also, one last thing is hats. Again, if you're going to wear a hat, especially if the sun is higher, then just know that this here is going to shade your face a little bit, and it's may not be desirable. You might want to put it back on your head a little bit like that, just to make sure the sun can get through. But yeah, just something to keep in mind when you're outside making videos. So anyways, I hope that helps. Good luck with your videos, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, good luck with making videos and have fun. I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye. Test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Lighting is arguably more important than the quality of your camera. Nice comfy corner I've got set up. So bad lighting can wreck the quality of a good camera. Bad lighting can make a really good camera look horrible. Bad lighting can make... Lighting is arguably more important than the camera. Audio quality is important too. Hi, my name is Rob, and if in the hopes that I can help you get a better looking video. Peanut. Hi, my name is Rob. Hi, my name is Rob. Hi.